Hello, everybody. This is Mike Tedesco of Wrestleview.com.
And this is Victoria Tedesco. Tedesco. Did I say Tedesco?
Tedesco?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Oh, it's already one of those nights?
It's going to be one of those nights.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, let's just stop streaming and we'll come back to this. Okay, never mind.
No, just kidding.
Yeah. That's Victoria
Tedesco.
Tedesco. That's with an O at the end of it.
Sorry.
Only been like 3.5 years. She's still catching on.
And I've known you for almost 14 years, so.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
It's a long time to be sitting with me. Jeez, we are here for post Raw number 11, and I don't think there's been a more newsworthy Raw than this one.
Yes.
And it's newsworthy for stuff that just didn't happen on Raw at all.
Exactly.
There has been quite a happening in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
These over the weekend. Particularly when it comes to their show, Crown Jewel in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Which, if you didn't hear them say it 15,000 times heading into last week's Raw, you wouldn't have known that they're coming from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia tonight. There were zero mentions of Saudi Arabia, and for good reason. WWE is getting absolutely hammered.
Extreme backlash
In the media for doing a show in a country. Okay. And now I'm going to get to put on my little hat real quick and kind of complain and do a little bit of the old, told you so. Saudi Arabia, we got a lot of crap from people.
Yeah, we did.
We sure did. We got a lot of crap from people a few weeks ago when they announced Crown Jewel. At the beginning of October, I believe it was, or maybe at the end of September. I can't
Roughly
remember.
around that time. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We were immediately just like going back to Saudi Arabia so soon, and going to hit us with another propaganda piece about how forward-thinking Saudi Arabia is. They are forward-thinking. Did you hear they're forward-thinking? Did you hear they're finally letting women drive?
Absolutely.
That men can do a little jig in public? That's really cool. Wow. Progressive.
Revolutionary.
Wow. Vision 2030. That's all we heard about on this on what was a pretty despicable, kind of gross propaganda piece that WWE put out in April for the WWE Greatest Royal Rumble. But at least then it was just like, okay, well, you have like a moral difference with the country and whatever. It is what it is. I mean, like, we still haven't even hit the 100th anniversary yet of women voting in this country. So, like, who are we to talk? But we are also talking about a government that, hey, they have the government. It's not the people. That's what I want to say right now.
Exactly.
It's
That's
not
the perfect way to
the
describe
people.
it.
Because somebody blasted us on a YouTube comment about us being racist because we didn't like they're coming from Saudi Arabia. Has nothing to do with the people. Absolutely nothing to do with Muslims, Arabs, whatever. None of that crap. It has to do with the fact that this government, who the United States only has any interest in because they have oil and stuff like that, we have to kiss their butt and give them this big propaganda piece like these guys that are murderers and harbor terrorists are all of a sudden, now they're the best people on earth and we're supposed to just believe that. Well, guess what? It turns out they're not. In a big way. Taking a United States resident, Saudi national, Washington Post journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, and murdering him, forced interrogation that just went awry. Yeah. Okay. It went so awry that they killed him and then they dismembered his body with a bone saw. I haven't heard of that one lately. I haven't heard of that interrogation process. I don't know about you, Victoria, but
no, I haven't. I just want to say this, for those who were, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say that it was as intense as what Brie Bella was going through when she had the Liv Morgan situation and everything like that. But we got pretty major heat from individuals about how we felt about this whole thing in general. And I'm not holding back anymore. Because you know what? I told you so. Like, this was not, this partnership was doomed from the get-go. Just because of what's been going on. You want to talk about how, from the most minuscule thing, which is, to me, it's not minuscule, but yes, in the scheme of things of what happened this week, absolutely. As far as, one of our, American, one of our representatives getting killed, that's just insane. But it starts from that hatred, like from that going on with the women. The individual who's going to own the company one day, Stephanie McMahon, who's going to be the leader of this company and who essentially is already taking reins with a lot of leadership roles, doing everything they did for pediatric cancer, doing everything they do for breast cancer.
Imagine.
She can't even attend.
Right. Imagine.
She can't even attend. So you have, God forbid, something happens to Vince McMahon in the next few years.
Imagine he dies tomorrow. Right, God forbid he dies tomorrow.
Anything happens to him. He's in critical condition. He dies. So he has to take a leave of absence for whatever reason.
The person who runs the company can't go.
The person who runs the company can't even come.
It's ridiculous.
Okay? You throw this pay-per-view evolution to something. Okay, ladies, don't you worry. We will get you your dues and whatever. And your women can't, the fact that they had, like I said, I'm beating a dead horse here, but the fact that they had to apologize back when they had this show in April for a woman accidentally being in a video package, they had to bow down to them on their knees to beg for forgiveness because a female happened to get in one of the video packages. Oh my gosh, you would have thought we were these, hatred individuals. We had to beg for mercy. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, this lady. But this is even beyond that. This is beyond not letting women wrestle at your pay-per-view. Now this is real life politics and government. WWE, wake up. What are you doing? Is this really worth it? And I just want to read something from Jamel that he wrote, because I think he kind of summed it up
Jamel's
perfectly.
In the chat room too, by the way.
Yes, I think he summed it up perfectly and said it very eloquently, and I think that this shed light on the situation. So this is what he wrote in the Wrestleview comments. The Saudi show and partnership is becoming more and more dicey to continue. I always try and keep as calm and level-headed as an approach as possible when talking about other countries, knowing the history and present of what we've done here in the U.S. It's 100% true. But I personally am becoming more uncomfortable with this show and WWE continuing to do business with this country. It will be a shame for those fans to miss out, but I think long-term WWE has to think about alienating their fans, sponsors, and their shareholders. I think the show is going to happen, with the only thing stopping it would be a major hit to their stock prices.
Right. So, yeah. This is just a disaster of epic proportions. I can't even begin to explain properly how bad this looks. All this time WWE spent building up, their goodwill and doing all that they could to remove the stink of wrestling still being thought of as this white trash, lower denomination of society, carny spectacle, and getting major sponsors. That thing last month for the pediatric cancer thing with Hyundai was phenomenal. And a triumph that never, ever would have happened even 5 years ago. And that's with all the stuff that they've done, the Make-A-Wish stuff. They've done some great things. You remove all of that. You put all of that at risk right now by going to Saudi Arabia. And maybe I'm going overboard a little bit. I don't think so, because it's a larger deal than just,
This is beyond.
It's more than just than women not wrestling.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. There's other countries that don't allow women to do it as well. Mm-hmm. United Arab Emirates, they had the divas wrestle in, head to toe covering, basically.
Right.
That's nothing. Really. That's in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. Now we're talking about a human life. We're talking about a government that is corrupt and a murderous regime running a country. And we're going to go in there now. WWE's going to go in there and kiss their butts. Not a good look. Not a good look. And honestly, I have to say, And I got to say it, and I've been to Philadelphia, great city, great crowds for wrestling, but the fans need to make their voices heard. Everybody was all up in arms, when they we got the pre-show match of WrestleMania. We rectified a wrong with the Fabulous Moolah, with all these stories that Dave Meltzer just tells with no evidence backed up whatsoever. But Moolah's a pimp. Okay, Moolah's a pimp, pimping out girls for her whole entire career, and she was evil. So they got rid of the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. Woohoo! Yeah! Wrestling fans saved the pre-show of WrestleMania. Who cares? This is where wrestling fans need to make their voices heard. This is where you need to make your voice heard. You need to start calling up their sponsors and saying, have you heard, by the way, that WWE is going into a country where they just murdered an American citizen who also happens to be a journalist? Did you hear about that? Yeah, I think you should hear about that, because that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. And the sponsors pulled out just off a little backlash from Moolah. So I can't imagine what the sponsors are going to do if WWE actually goes through with this show. Now, they can do a whole entire Raw. They can do a whole entire Raw and not mention Saudi Arabia once. They can try to hide from this and run away, but November 2nd is coming up very shortly. It's 2 weeks away, and this show's not going anywhere.
Wake up, WWE.
Okay? This show's not going anywhere. It's coming fast, and they need to make a decision very, very quickly. They need to wake up. I mean, this is a country right now, and we're in the United States right now. The show's live from the United States, so if you're listening to us from somewhere else, I'm just letting you know, if you haven't heard, the United States is a little divided right now. It's the divided states of America right now, and Democrats and Republicans can't agree on anything. They can't agree on anything. Yet, Democratic and Republican senators have said, going across the aisle now, they've all agreed that WWE, especially with Linda McMahon on the president's cabinet, probably shouldn't be going into Saudi Arabia and doing this show. Not a good idea. Not a good look. But, I guess unless, President Donald Trump calls up Vince McMahon himself, and he is a Hall of Famer, so he probably does have his phone number, or the State Department says, we're not allowing anybody to go over to Saudi Arabia right now. WWE's just going to go there because we're getting $500 million or we're getting $1 billion, whatever the number is. The point is, they don't need the money. And at the end of the day, the backlash from this, the potential of sponsors pulling out, is going to cost them more in the long run than they're going to make with Saudi Arabia.
And I have to be honest.
It's a bad look. It's not a good thing.
I have to be honest with you, and shame on those veterans and for not standing up.
In fairness, they can't.
I don't care.
They can't.
What do you mean they can't? I'm sorry. You need to stand up, and you need to say, we are not comfortable. We are not doing this. Who's going to be the one to step up? Who's going to be the superstar to say, this is not okay? If you get a gang of guys who are going to stick together and legit, what are they going to do? Fire everybody? What are they going to do? Fire John Cena?
That's just not how it works. So they don't need Shawn Michaels there, so they'll cancel the match, and then Shawn Michaels loses them money.
What if you all stick together though?
They don't. There's no union. There's no protection. That's just
you know what though?
You can't. I'm not blaming the talent for this. No, I'm not blaming the talent.
I'm not.
I'm blaming.
You know what? Someone could step up. Someone could say to them, "We're not doing this."
They can do it behind the scenes. They can do it behind the scenes. It doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. At the end of the day, it's the business decision. It's Vince McMahon.
You know what?
It's Vince has the final call here. And you know what? They just think that there's so much money to be made, and so much money will be left on the table. But who cares?
No, but
at the end of the day,
I'm sorry. Shame on Shawn Michaels for picking this venue to do his retirement, out of retirement matchup.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I agree.
I have to be honest with you.
Mr. Christian Values is going to go over there.
That's what somebody got me for last time, and I'm going to say it. I don't care anymore because now I'm legitimately angry. I really don't care. Shame on Shawn Michaels. Seriously, because this is, you know what? Well before even this event happened this week, this stuff happens constantly. There could be more people that we don't even know about that are being killed right under our noses. You know what I mean? And Shame on him for picking this event to come out of retirement.
Yeah, well, it's not a good look for him either. Mr. Christian Values coming out, and he's going to do a match in a country where, they murder people. And thank you, Grash. I'd like to make a correction real quick. I said that the gentleman who was killed by the Saudis was an American citizen. He's an American resident, not a citizen. He's a Saudi national living in America.
Yes.
Working for the Washington Post. But again, in a country where the president constantly says that the media is the enemy of the people, and now, we're going to allow Saudi Arabia to murder a journalist, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. And obviously, it's more than just WWE that needs to do something. This is a matter that, if it's not handled by the president, it needs to become a congressional matter. And the Congress has kind of mentioned as such that if the president doesn't act on it, that this will become a congressional thing. That's why this is just so much more than just a
not
show.
Letting women wrestle.
It's more than just women not wrestling and not driving in that country.
It became something so much bigger.
Who cares about that at the end of the day? Who cares? Who cares about Sasha Banks and Bayley having a stink match on the show?
Though?
Who cares?
You know what, though? But
the point is that they are just... the government is just a murderous regime. They've killed people before. They've killed them. They'll kill them again. They've harbored terrorists in the past. And WWE right now has no business going in there.
What I'm saying is this, though, before we go into Raw with the whole thing. It may seem minuscule. And yes, in the scheme of things of what happened this week, it is low on the totem pole, not letting your women wrestle. But it evolves. Because when you talk about it just builds up. What boundaries do we have? We don't have boundaries. It's like, okay, not letting women wrestle. And then this happens. It's like, it all kind of goes together at the end of the day. It does. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
And as Grash just reminded me, great point. Doesn't mean that the entire country's bad.
Not at all.
But Osama bin Laden was from Saudi Arabia. So, it's not like they're churning out that the government is supporting the best of the best people, but the government supported him for a long time.
There are good people there, though.
No. It's not the people. I'm talking about the government. I don't want to talk about the people anymore. People have nothing to do with
nothing to do with it at all.
Okay. Anyway, it's just a bad look, and it's just, I couldn't wait to press start streaming to talk about this, because this is just the most asinine thing. It's the most asinine thing that's happening right now. And the fact that they still built a Raw around, these qualifying matches, I would just put everything on the freezer. Wait another week before you start doing more World Cup, whatever, qualifying matches. Put it on the burner for another week. What could it hurt to do it next week? It's ridiculous, and then to still promote Crown Jewel and then just not say Saudi Arabia. And I gotta say, I'm disappointed in Philadelphia that there wasn't more chance for cancel Crown Jewel and stuff like that. Put the pressure on them. Everybody knows that this is wrong. If you look online, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're going in there. It's fans like, where is the outrage that there was for Moolah? Moolah,
give you a chance.
Totally unsubstantiated claims. For every person that says that Moolah did it, there's two others that say that she didn't. Okay. So it's 2-1, but they still took Moolah out of took her name off.
You know what?
And you know what? Mae Young was worse. Mae Young used to get people. She used to get married guys to, want to come back to my room and have a little romp, and then she'd rob them and beat them up, and figuring that no married guy is going to go to the police and say, I was going to have sex with this girl, and then she beat me up and robbed me. For fear of his marriage, and also, I guess, fear of, seeming like, less of a man. But she still gets to have her Mae Young classic.
Yeah.
But the outrage was there for Moolah. Everybody wants to be a social justice warrior. Where's the social justice warriors now? Where are they? We'll find out. We'll see in the coming weeks. We'll see. Anyway, and more bad news for WWE too, as if more bad news can happen. Another an article came out by a very I can't remember the name of the firm right off the top of my head. where the author wrote that there's a little warning now about WWE stock, because
I know
because they priced it at, they said that it's actually undervalued right now and that it could get up to $100, and everybody's been, kind of on the WWE train, and it's pushed up to $80. But now an article came out saying that WWE stock may be overvalued and $80 might be too high, and it's probably going to plateau probably at 60. And it's probably going to stay at 60 forever because that's about what it's worth. So now you have this article out there from a respected firm talking about, WWE with their sagging television ratings and their sagging live attendance, and them saying that, okay, these television deals, these are a red herring for, because there are some great problems with this company and we're overvaluing the stock. So we could see a drop in the WWE stock coming up. And I don't think that going to Saudi Arabia is going to help their stock anymore. It's gonna hurt them in the long run. So there's a lot of factors at play here. Obviously, number one is a political factor. There's a whole entire thing. A moral factor. From going over there to a country that kills journalists and human rights violations. They killed this guy because they thought they could get away with it. And they didn't. And now there's leaks all over coming out of this government, and they're trying to figure out a way to, claim, they're going to claim responsibility for it, but then say that it's just it's a joke. It's a total joke. And WWE's caught right in the middle of it, and they're trying to, talk out of both sides of their mouth. It's ridiculous. Anyway,
there's a Raw tonight.
There was a Raw tonight. A Raw that happened. And you know what? Honestly, it wasn't a bad show. I didn't think it was a bad show. The obviously the Saudi Arabia thing kind of hung over like a cloud on the show, but
big elephant in the room.
The big elephant in the room, but they still put out a good show. Let's see what everybody thinks about it on the Twitters.
Okay, here's the Twitters.
All right, here we go. Oh, we got 54% thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
That's not a very commanding, convincing thumbs up.
But it may be also from the influence of the whole elephant in the room, too.
It could be. It could be. It wasn't as good as last week's show. That's for sure.
Definitely not.
But you can't have a show like last week every week. No. It's like
especially not in the fall.
Can't be greedy.
Yeah.
But the Chicago show last week was great, and usually when they go into Philadelphia, they pull out some good stuff, and they did. They did. They gave us some good matches.
Absolutely.
Right off the bat, though. Talking about our favorite event right now, Crown Jewel. Braun Strowman's out there, and he's with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to kick off the show. And right off the bat, they announced that we're going to do 2 Crown Jewel qualifying matches. So anybody who thought that they weren't going to promote Crown Jewel was kidding themselves. They go back and forth about how they're the greatest 3-man group ever, and how the Shield is showing cracks, and Dean Ambrose is losing his confidence, and yada yada yada, and that, and then they talk about their Crown Jewel matches, and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre are both in qualifying matches. McIntyre says he's going to win, then Ziggler says he's going to win, and then actually McIntyre hit him with a good line, buddy. You are, you're good, but you're no Drew McIntyre. Oh my goodness, I'm talking. Where is that coming from? Actually, McIntyre hit him with a good line. Do you hear that?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. I think something happened where I was talking there. Yeah, strange. Anyway, sorry, I'm scrolling on the screen right now. I was trying to see where that video was playing from, but whatever.
Sorry about that.
Somehow I picked up.
Botch.
So yeah, somehow I picked up the stream from from our live YouTube channel, but there's a little delay there. So
all right.
I'm getting kind of confused. But he said, buddy, you're no Drew McIntyre. And you know what? There is only one Drew McIntyre right now. He is pretty darn good. Yeah, he is pretty darn good.
Pretty good.
So what happens is the Shield comes out. They say that they don't have Dean Ambrose with them at the time, and they said that he runs on lunatic time and he'll be there when he gets there. Right. But he will be there. And so that leads to our first match, which is Drew McIntyre taking on Seth Rollins in a World Cup qualifying match, which I thought was a damn good match. This was a damn good match.
No, it really was. You know, the opening segment, I'm a little sick of the same opening, but I will say it was pretty decent overall. It didn't really like bother me at the end of the day, but it like I'm just kind of sick of them opening. But that's like the premise of the whole what's going on in WWE right now is they're revolving this whole all these shows around them. So it makes
of course,
sense, you know?
they're the main focus of the show.
It makes sense.
I would have rather them just have opened up the show with the World Cup qualifying match.
Yeah,
but,
me too. But it was an okay segment. The match was phenomenal. I think it was a really good idea to have Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre have their. It was so entertaining, and the two of them, just they're superstars right now. I mean, Seth Rollins to us is just the best thing they have going, and then Drew McIntyre is just right there.
Jamel asks, Victoria, would you rather have Stephanie McMahon come out and talk for 20 minutes?
No.
No, please. No, please.
And you know what?
No, please.
And no Baron Corbin either. So.
Oh yeah, no Baron Corbin. So especially.
That's why I'm saying.
Man, there was
I'm good.
There was a Baron Corbin promo tonight though that will be talked about.
Oh yeah.
For the love of God, that was something else. Anyway. There were so many great highlights in this match. You know, I loved the Seth Rollins going for the suicide dive, and McIntyre had an answer for basically everything
so
they
clean
did.
With that too.
Yeah, the belly to belly overhead suplex was awesome on the floor. You know, I loved him, absolutely loved him doing the superplex, and then you know how Rollins usually rolls through for that Falcon Arrow. Well, he rolled through, but it was McIntyre that hits him with the Falcon Arrow. This is just like fun stuff. Like when I was recapping it, I automatically just assumed that it was Rollins that was going to hit the Falcon Arrow, and then it was McIntyre. I was like, this is just some fun, creative stuff.
Very fun.
You know, and they're protecting McIntyre right now as they should. The guy is a future superstar.
He really is.
Big time. Big time. I don't think that he's going to, you know, win the Royal Rumble, which I'm wearing my Philadelphia Royal Rumble shirt.
Very fitting for tonight.
In honor of being in Philadelphia tonight, as I try to battle hiccups right now. I don't think he's a Royal Rumble winner, but I think like SummerSlam main event, this guy is all over it. You know, granted, a lot can happen between now and January.
Please don't get injured.
But yeah, no, please, McIntyre, don't like tear your biceps. The guy is so ripped. He's so shredded, though. It's like he just has a great look. He's powerful. He's like what Cesaro was a few years ago with like the power moves and like really impressive stuff.
Yeah.
But with personality, you know. And it's like I love Cesaro, and I do. You know, cringe when I think about the Steve Austin podcast where Vince McMahon said that Cesaro doesn't have the it factor,
terrible.
Which I thought was just like, wow, that's just a career crusher. That's an absolute career crusher. McIntyre is Cesaro times 100,
like 2.0, yeah.
Yeah, and Cesaro is an extreme talent. He's a rare talent.
I love Cesaro,
but he's missing that you know personality aspect that McIntyre has. McIntyre can cut a promo. He's got that kind of
that look,
that mystique, you know, that look. You know, this guy he smells like money, like Leo Rush says about Bobby Lashley. In real life, Drew McIntyre is the one who looks and smells like money to me.
Yeah, that's dollar signs right there.
That's dollar, playa. Oh my gosh, you know, speaking of playa, I don't know why, but I turned on the WWE Network stream last night. And the SmackDown 15th anniversary was on. SmackDown celebrating the 1000th episode tomorrow.
Yes.
Very, very excited about that. I came to Wrestleview recapping SmackDown, so I'm very, very excited about the 1000th episode.
That's
SmackDown.
So funny you watching SmackDown 15 though.
Yeah, and I was watching it and also reading my recap to see how accurate I was. It was pretty good, I gotta say. I was pretty proud of it. Yeah, I'm looking at the Quentin Walter. McIntyre's a beast.
Yes.
Jamel Watts, McIntyre's deceptive height. I keep forgetting how big that dude is. Yeah, that guy is
right?
really
no, it's
super tall.
Very
he's like
true.
He's like near Strowman's height. I don't think he's taller than Strowman.
He's really
but he's
tall.
Right there.
Really, really tall.
Oh, here's a good off topic a little bit from what we're talking about now, but it has to do with Crown Jewel, and this was a Crown Jewel, you know, qualifying match essentially. Torqueman says, I say if WWE moves Crown Jewel, pick a U.S. location near a military base, give military families free tickets, and fill an arena that way, even eating big money.
Hell yeah.
That's actually a really good idea.
I really like that.
Mm-hmm. That's really good.
That's really good.
Jamel talking about McIntyre, him getting released in 2015-ish. I think it was like 2014. If I had to
remember that,
yeah. I think it was 2014 because it was shortly after Extreme Rules that we went to that he was gone. Was the best thing that happened to him. Dude has become an absolute gem. Is the best. Is better than ever. Yes, he certainly is, and he looks great. And they're protecting him right now. So Dean Ambrose did make his return. He did show up. He's on lunatic time. And Dolph Ziggler ran down. Your favorite thing when Ziggler gets in the ring, but he doesn't touch anybody, but it's not. The match still continues. That's Victoria's favorite.
That's my ultimate
And they keep doing it. They keep doing it.
They heard the podcast and they were like, "Let's just piss off Victoria."
Yep, I think that's exactly what happened. So he attacks Ziggler, and then McIntyre goes out to beat up Ambrose, and then Rollins hits McIntyre with the stomp on the floor, and then he gets in the ring and wins by countout. So they don't pin McIntyre. McIntyre looks strong in defeat.
Win-win.
He had an answer for everything that Rollins did. Both guys look phenomenal.
Absolutely,
it's a total win-win.
Win-win on both ends.
This is the rare countout finish that really worked for me.
Exactly.
It just totally made sense.
Yep.
It totally makes sense.
Totally.
To me. So loved that. Absolutely loved it. Let's see, what else do we got here? We had a creepy Undertaker and Kane vignette backstage where they talk about Crown Jewel. Basically, it's just Kane and Undertaker just saying like, this is a war that, you started, but we're going to end the war at Crown Jewel. And I think there's a war starting up in Saudi Arabia. Oh, I'll just stop.
Yeah, just stop right there, anyway.
Please. Anyway, so Kane says, DX, you had 3 words for us. Are you ready? So we have 3 words for you. Rest in peace. Fun stuff, whatever. Just a quick little promo. Typical Undertaker, Kane stuff. The creepy lighting and smoke and stuff like that. Ooh, spooky stuff. Yep. Spooky. And then we move on to a random match with Ember Moon and Nia Jax teaming up. Don't know why they're friends. Nobody explained that to us, but they just are. They had a match in the spirit of competition last week, and now they're
besties.
Buds. They're buds. But they're also going to be in a battle royal together. They just announced tonight, 1 week from this Sunday, October 28th, there will be a women's battle royal at WWE Evolution. Of course, it's women's battle royal because it's an all women's pay-per-view, so we can just call it a battle royal. How about that? The winner will earn a future women's championship match, and I'm guessing they'll earn that championship match for whatever respective brand they're from. So we have Tamina Snuka, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Ember Moon, Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Asuka, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Carmella, Lana, Naomi, and Tori Wilson announced for this thing so far. Obviously, I believe there's more coming because they did promise, 3 championship matches at least and 50 of the greatest superstars from past, present, and future coming to the show. So I'm sure a lot of them will be involved, and of course we're going to get the Mae Young Classic finals as well. The most compelling part of this match, actually, I didn't hate it. Tamina Snuka's back. This is her first match back since the Women's Royal Rumble, which also took place in the same arena they were in tonight in Philadelphia. And the most compelling part of the match, I have to say, was Tamina going against Nia Jax. I'm not the biggest Nia Jax fan on earth, and I definitely hate her as a face. She just doesn't work for me at all. But if she can be a face and go against a heel Tamina Snuka, I can kind of live with that.
Yeah, family,
because Snuka is Tamina's about the only one that I could really believe could go against Nia Jax. I have to believe that one of these tiny heel women can just beat up Nia Jax and have her sell for a little bit, and then Nia Jax comes back. It doesn't make sense to me. Nia Jax works better as a heel, crushing people. That's what she should be doing. She shouldn't be selling. She shouldn't be crying and doing whatever that crap is that she was doing at WrestleMania. But I did really like this match, and I thought it was damn impressive that Tamina Snuka, coming off what great. I believe was a knee injury, lifting up Nia Jax and planning her with a Samoan drop.
That was impressive. I have to say, it was
damn impressive. I gotta say that was something. So that was
it was fun.
You know what? I saw Nia Jax and Ember Moon coming out, and I was like, oh, this sucks, and it wound up surpassing my expectations.
Pleasantly surprising. The only lame part at the end was Dana Brooke.
Oh, Dana Brooke. Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, like when she just
because of the battle royal that
like everybody's got to tease that though. That she's gonna win this.
I love every single battle royal, the most generic, build ever. Oh, I threw you over the top rope. I could do that again at the show. Never happens,
Dana
though.
Brooke,
but Dana Brooke was the last one standing in the ring. She threw out Tamina Snuka and Ember Moon. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Let her dream.
Overall, though.
But even Dana Brooke was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it.
I did it?
That was hilarious. That was really hilarious.
No, but it was really good.
Yeah, but it was completely forgotten about and blown out of the water by the next segment.
By my girls.
Wow. Ronda Rousey responds to Nikki and Brie Bella.
First of all, amazing crowd reaction.
This was great.
That was, like, as soon as the Bellas came out, it was instantaneous heat.
This was really, really phenomenal.
Amazing.
Damn. Okay, so I mentioned a week or two ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, about Ronda.
That I'm starting to get on the Adam Martin train. I am getting on the Adam Martin train where I want to see a little more from Ronda Rousey than just, I'm the cute rookie. I see I'm trying. That got annoying after, it was getting old. And I wanted to see something where Ronda could, sink her teeth into something.
Oh, my gosh.
And everybody thought it was going to be the Natalya turning on her, but this Bella Twins feud. Wow, this really brought out the best of Ronda Rousey. I forgot how good Ronda Rousey could be if she seemed like she was pissed off. It was really great. So she came out, tears in her eyes, doing that kind of annoying rookie thing again, which I was like, oh boy.
You're like, here we go again.
If they have her crying, being like, you betrayed me. It's like, I'm going to be like, no.
No.
So the Bellas came out and they talk about how Ronda Rousey is the reason that they're back. She doesn't deserve to have a championship. Nikki says she's the one who deserves to be champion, and a loser like Rousey doesn't deserve the championship. All she is just a loser. This is show business, and they don't owe her an explanation. Nikki says she's the longest reigning Divas champion of all time, and that championship that Ronda carries wouldn't even exist without them. They're the reason for the whole women's revolution, and they made Diva mean something when it didn't mean anything. And then Ronda Rousey put the Jets on. And wow.
Savage.
I don't even know. How do I properly...
She was savage. She placated into every... She placated into every single thing that has ever been said against the Bellas.
Sorry, Ronda Rousey.
Yes, Ronda Rousey. Oh my God, I almost forgot about that. That's amazing. Yeah, no, Ronda Rousey. She just... every little thing that people say about the Bellas, for how long that they've been there, the minimal talent,
that was
placating
great.
Into their relationships,
right?
Daniel Bryan, John Cena, mostly into John Cena because obviously she's having a match with Nikki at Evolution.
Well, that one was awesome. I gotta say. So she's like, Ronda says, I tried to be respectful. I knew WWE was your territory first, and she tried not to be judgmental against them, even though Divas era made her sick to her stomach. She gave them the benefit of the doubt, thinking that they just did the best with what they had.
Welcoming her and...
But then she said, you guys are just pathetic. After WrestleMania, you tried to leech onto me and ride my coattails and all that stuff. You're basically living stereotypes. You're the do-nothing Bellas. And...
Based off the article that she said about it.
And now the crowd's getting into it. They're doing yes chants and they're just going crazy.
Crowd was amazing throughout this.
And then as soon as she said, they leached off the names of their men. Which was awesome. What?
Oh, I heard Thunder, I think.
Oh, Thunder. Oh, boy. Better wrap up. She said that they're relics of the past and need to be eviscerated like smallpox, which was a great line as well. She said that they plagiarize and dilute the movesets of their men, which is, obviously a shot at Brie Bella for the Liv Morgan incident a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And the only thing stopping her at Evolution will be the referee, but they're not good at holding her back. She's more than just a pretty face with a deadly body, which I thought was a lame line. She doesn't care how much promotion is behind them. Their name will become like the societal sores they are. So I loved almost all of that promo. And then she said the societal sores part, which I was like, oh, no one talks like that. That was my first thought in my head was no one talks like that.
Except for you.
I know. And, oh man. and then Bree and they were talking. It was their turn again, and they talked about how they knocked down doors. And Ronda says she knocked down doors in judo and the UFC and Strikeforce. And the only door Nikki ever knocked down was the door to John Cena's bedroom.
Oh,
and he eventually threw her out the exact same door. That was friggin' awesome. That one sent the crowd into a frenzy.
A frenzy, because it's fresh wounds right there. Their breakup and just everything.
It was the best.
I gotta say, props to the Bellas though for
they did a great job.
Yeah, well, taking real life stuff into it and like allowing that. You know, I don't know how I would feel like if I had an ex.
Yeah, I know, right?
That like all they do is talk about how I slept my way to the top, and you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, look at his haircut. He's really fallen off since he's been with her. So, God,
no,
John Bradshaw Cena.
I think the crowd had the biggest reaction to this tonight.
This was awesome. This was a total win.
That just had straight reaction for like however long the segment was for. It just lasted as long as they started. Immediately when the Bellas came out, it was like...
These comments are great.
Oh, God.
Societal source, thuffer and succotash. It's Ashley. And Jamel says she poured Morton salt in that open wound of the John Cena breakup. I love that. That is so specific.
Yeah,
That's so damn specific.
Oh, man.
This was just great. I mean, it was really awesome. And then it just got better because the Bellas, like Ronda challenged them to a fight. So they start coming down. Then they stop, do a dance, and the security team comes out. And Ronda beat up the security guard.
That last security guard was
I'm showing a gif of him right now.
Do you have it? My God.
Oh, it is so funny. Oh, my God.
No, Ronda.
Yeah, he's like trying to hold her back. And then she lifts him up, and he's like, "Whoa!" And then she slams him. He's like, "Ah!" It was hilarious. It was they picked the worst jobber to be the security guard that gets beat up by Ronda.
I'm choking. That was hilarious.
He oversold more than the Mick Foley story with DDP and the chocolate chip cookies for anybody who knows what I'm talking about.
That was my favorite.
It was awesome. That was so funny. If you have to go back and watch you have to go back and watch this vignette.
Please.
Literally for the promo, but then stay for the beatdown because that was friggin' hilarious. That guy was so bad, it was good. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That was fun stuff. And I needed to laugh a little bit.
I would have, if I was there, I probably would have just been hysterical. Like if I was Ronda, I would have been like just crying.
I know. And you know what? I got to say that this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Ronda Rousey.
Oh, definitely.
Like I said before, I've been waiting for
the Bellas too.
Yeah, I've been waiting for her to have something she can sink her teeth into. The Bellas are just natural heels. Nikki Bella is just so smooth as silk. They're going to have a great match at Evolution. You watch. They're going to have a phenomenal match at Evolution.
Sometimes the two of them are very choppy in their segments, but they were really, really good with this. They looked so confident. I think just being in the business how long as they've been in, they really finally have gotten that heel attitude, with the two of them.
This was way superior to them having their feud against one another.
I know. I hate when their faces. They're just natural heels, But they weren't choppy at all. They were very, very much in sync with one another. Oh, God. What?
Jamel.
Why do you keep... I hate when you do that. You keep laughing and you don't let me know right away.
I know. It's just so funny. It's a great comment. Women's promos have come a long way. Back in the day, Sable and Jacqueline called each other skank and slut during their feud. So, yes, they certainly have come a long way.
Yo, Sunny is like a... I heard a podcast this week and I was like, oh!
Let's not talk about our we just talked about our podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, let's keep our podcast.
All right, just saying.
But Dolph Ziggler sure has had some sunny days. Let's just say that. Okay. Anyway, yeah, but man, oh man, this is Ronda Rousey needed this in a big way. I've been waiting for her to break out and have and do a promo where she doesn't sound like I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that one. So this was a huge home run. This is the best segment on the show by far. Absolutely by far. But then they tried to follow it up. They did try to top this, and they nearly did with Kurt Angle talking with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. And you just got to look at this getup that Kurt Angle's wearing. He is just in this ridiculous vacation outfit.
Dad gear.
Oh my God. Kurt Angle doing the dance with No Way Jose and just doing his kooky little stuff. Oh my God. Like that was comedy. That was the comedy of the night for me, with Kurt Angle doing all that crap. He is, like, when Kurt Angle is not having to memorize lines and can just do some physical comedy and just be himself a little bit, it's a total win. You know, like I think back to those promos, all those vignettes he did with Steve Austin, back in 2001 when both guys were injured after King of the Ring 2001, doing the cowboy hat and all that stuff. Kurt Angle is a really funny dude if you just let him be Kurt Angle, and he was kind of just being Kurt Angle tonight, and it was Kurt. It was a big win. Okay, so. Leading up to this, the next match is another WWE World Cup qualifying match with Dean Ambrose taking on Dolph Ziggler. Ahead of this match, the Shield was walking backstage together, and Rollins was kind of saying, oh yeah, he's on lunatic time and this and that. And all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose took exception to being called a lunatic. He did not like that, and he walked off on them. So he said he has a match to concentrate on, and that's just what they're doing. He had a match with Dolph Ziggler, and it was okay. It was I was expecting more, and I thought they were a little clunky in spots, but for the most part, it kind of worked out. There was one nasty there it is, the double underhook, the double chicken wing sit out face buster, where I thought Ziggler was kind of put out for a second. He seemed like he hit his head really hard on the mat, but Dolph Ziggler's just a really good bumper, so I really don't know. It was a match. It wasn't bad.
No,
I liked the finish. And I like that they continue to tease this dissension with Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
So Drew McIntyre runs down just like Dolph Ziggler ran down, tried to cost him the match, and it backfired. Rollins came out, helped him out, and then he winds up getting shoved by Ambrose, who thought that he was McIntyre, and then Ambrose gets in the ring, eats a super kick, and gets pinned. So
adding more to that psyche.
Right. It's just adding more fuel to the fire. And Ambrose walks off on him, and then Rollins turns him around, and then they start arguing, and that brings out Roman Reigns to try to break it up, and then that brings out Baron Corbin.
Our favorite. Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
As Quentin says, yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So Baron Corbin cut another wonderful promo.
It was one of his amazing
Sounded as convincing as ever. But he does he says we're going to have a rematch tonight with Braun Strowman, McIntyre, and Ziggler taking on the Shield. It's going to happen tonight. And he's, sarcastically says he doesn't want to watch the Shield dissolve on his watch. But if, I don't know how, but like he doesn't really know how to deliver sarcasm in lines. So it sounded like he was actually serious about that. Which then it's like, wait a minute, you just spent the entire last month and a half trying to break up the Shield, so that doesn't make sense.
I wouldn't even have him deliver my pizza.
He can't deliver a pizza. No. That's right. That's pretty good.
If I would call him up and be like, hey, I want a pepperoni, and nope, you wouldn't be able to do it.
That's pretty damn good. That's actually that was pretty damn funny, Victoria.
Thanks.
Yeah, he can't deliver his lines. He's not damn sure he's delivering a pizza. Oh yeah. By the way, Kurt Angle dressed up as the vacation dude. Corbin books him in a match against AOP to warm up for Crown Jewel. Since Kurt Angle hasn't had a singles match in WWE in 12 years, he's had tag team matches and multi-person matches,
but not
no singles matches.
Correct.
So fine, okay. Very, very quick and painless. Mercifully kept short. I am so sick and tired of seeing Finn Balor take on Jinder Mahal every week now.
I'll bash my head against the table.
Can we go back to Bobby Roode versus Connor for 10 weeks in a row? I'll take that over Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal.
I know, but these repeating matches over and over again, I'm just so sick of them. I'm tired of Finn and Jinder Mahal. I know it was 2 seconds, but even 2 seconds is 2 seconds too long.
Yeah. It was fine. It was nothing.
But it's annoying.
Bayley was there just to exist.
Just to be there.
But my favorite part of the entire match was the post-match with Balor's music doesn't even hit. He doesn't even get to celebrate. Instead, they just send out Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush.
He is so annoying.
I love it. He's doing such a great job.
That voice is just made to annoy people. Could you imagine your job is just somebody comes up to you and it's like, hey, you're really annoying. We need somebody like you.
Right. You suck.
Your voice is literally nails on a chalkboard.
And look at this ridiculous outfit he's wearing. It's ridiculous.
I love this outfit.
It's ridiculous. I love it too.
Even Renee Young loved this outfit.
Oh, it was totally ridiculous. Why haven't they been doing this to Bobby Lashley from the beginning?
From the get-go. Honestly, this whole thing should have been from the start.
Ooh. You know, damn it. I always get to switch over and the little thing shows, whatever. Damn it. I said to myself I wasn't going to do that, and I did it. Damn it. Anyway, why haven't they been doing this with Lashley the entire time?
This is gold right here. This is money. This is like...
It's good.
I love it. I love it just to be annoyed. Because he's like a bee in my ear. I'm like,
And that laugh, the yuck, yuck, yuck that he does. Like,
yeah.
Look at my man, Bobby Lashley. It's like, oh my God, you just want to like grab him, punch him in the face. But it's like, it works so well. It's so great. I can't get enough of it.
The posing too, they had Bobby Lashley doing like
why did you try like what the sisters angle? You thought that was gonna work as a face? This is what they should have been doing.
Better late than never. I don't know. Like
better late than never.
Better late than never.
And it's a good feud. I mean,
good thing for Bobby Lashley. Finally.
Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns had a great match. They had two great matches over the summer. They had a great match at Extreme Rules, I think it was. There's so many freaking pay-per-views now. They all blend in the names.
But this is good.
But and they also had that great match on Raw.
Yeah.
So.
But this is good for Bobby Lashley too, because he should have came in
right
having these quick little matches.
Oh sure. He should have been having squash matches.
Obviously,
against, why wouldn't he have squash match against Tyler Breeze more often?
Right. Like, of course. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he's, just with his size alone, yeah, he's definitely more capable of having those longer matches like he did with Roman Reigns and everything. But it's just that when you're first coming back, keep it simple as far as like having those squash matches. They work. It's a nice, easy build for somebody.
Oh, no doubt.
So, and he doesn't, and like I said,
it's also a good.
Now he's not talking,
right?
So it's like
this is also a really good feud for Roman Reigns. Now he'll, once he gets through, Saudi Arabia, as long as they don't, kill him and dismember him with a bone saw. If Roman Reigns can get back in one piece, literally, then he can have a great feud, heading into Survivor Series or maybe even the Royal Rumble with Bobby Lashley. It's total win-win. It'd be great.
I'm not going to touch that one.
I mean, they couldn't send Sami Zayn to the Greatest Royal Rumble because he's Syrian, and they hate Syrians there.
I forgot about that.
Anyway, I don't want to get back into that.
Yeah, no.
But
let's move forward, not move back.
Let's hope they don't kill Roman Reigns. That's okay. This next segment, all I have to say about it is
brutal.
Oh.
This was bad. This was really, really bad. Really bad. Like really, really bad.
Hideous.
Brutal.
Hideous.
Brutal.
I don't even know how to properly explain it, so I'll just tell you that it stunk. It was Trish Stratus and Lita going back and forth with Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, and Alexa Bliss said that they need practice, and they're like, "We need practice? Why don't you come practice?"
That was annoying. That was not even like a cool annoying like Leo Rush was doing. That was just stupid.
They're giving pre-scripted promos to people who weren't comfortable cutting promos, 10 years ago.
That's what I said. Out of the four of them, Alexa Bliss is the only one who can.
Mickie James could hold her own, but
no, I know. But Alexa Bliss she's really good at cutting a promo, like really, really good. The other three, like, don't speak.
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
What are you laughing at?
No, Quentin enjoyed your. He enjoyed your reaction. Yawn.
Yeah.
It stunk. I mean,
yeah.
I like it's bad when I can't even like. Yeah. Me, I'm very, very wordy when I do my recaps and when I do my thoughts. Sometimes I get a little wordy. If I just give it 2 words, that stunk. I can't even quantify into words just how poor that was.
Why do we need to?
We don't have to.
No.
The Conquistador taking on AOP. So Kurt Angle didn't have his he didn't have his ring gear, so he's dressed up as the Conquistador. It's Kurt Angle. even though you could tell by the neck.
Right, by the neck, immediately it was not him.
It was not Kurt Angle. He gets dominated by AOP, and then they remove the mask, and it is some jobber dude. Baron Corbin was on the ramp to watch, and then Kurt Angle sneaks up in his vacation outfit and gives him the Angle Slam. That was so much fun. I love Kurt Angle.
I love his dad outfit.
He was in a bathing suit. Yeah, he was in a bathing suit and everything. It's hilarious. So we have
glorious.
We have a fun, quick little segment with Kurt Angle dressed up, doing, and then he does Conquistador dance.
I love the Conquistador dance.
I love that. That was awesome. Kurt Angle just bouncing around doing the Conquistador dance afterwards is so great. And so anytime I get to see Kurt Angle just be goofy and do a Conquistador dance, that's a total win for me. And then if you throw in the AOP squash of that loser guy, that makes it even better. So this was a total win of a segment after a really bad segment. So I needed that. I love just watching AOP kill anybody.
I do too.
It's so much fun.
They're so much fun.
Ooh, that's a good question. Jamel asking, was the Trish Stratus Lita segment as bad as the Old Day skit or the Bailey This Is Your Life segment? No, but it still stunk. I'm not even going to say it was in the top 10 of the worst things I've ever seen, but it was poor. I would say it's probably the worst thing I've seen since anything Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn did in the recent months. So this is probably the worst one since that. But God, the Old Day skit, I can't even believe that I survived recapping that. I can't even believe it. I can't believe I'm sitting here doing post Raw number 11 after having to recap and recap Bailey This Is Your Life. I can't believe I've done all this.
I'm proud of you.
Have I been recapping Raw? I've been recapping for like 4 years now, I think. Yeah, something like that. I think I started in 2014, shortly after Ultimate Warrior died. That's when I started.
Yeah, was it during our engagement?
Yeah, it was before our engagement.
Before
the engagement.
Yeah,
and I did Raw and SmackDown the entire year, and then I finally stopped SmackDown. And the SmackDown after WrestleMania was my last one in 2015. I love SmackDown. I did love SmackDown, and I'm just so psyched about this 1000th episode tomorrow night, and I'm sure Roy's going to kill the recap. If at all possible, I'd love to just jump in and just do like one segment on that show. It'd be so much fun. It'd be such a great honor for me to just recap one segment of the 1000th episode of the show that got me into wrestling journalism.
And here we are now.
Doing post Raw number 11.
Us.
Yeah, lucky us getting to talk about the return of Sasha Banks. Wow, was that a popcorn fart of a reaction for her. Number one, so it's Ruby Riott versus Natalya. So Ruby Riott comes out the Riott Squad, and Natalya says, you don't think I'm dumb enough to come down there by myself. I have backup. And then Bayley comes out to absolutely zero, and I mean...
in a Wonder Woman outfit.
And I mean zero reaction. And then, we also brought somebody else, Sasha Banks. Who cares? Immediately, as soon as that happened, I put up on Twitter the gif of Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park going, "See, nobody cares." Like that was my immediate thought was nobody cares. Nobody cares. Natalya won by DQ. Who cares? So I have a question. The only question that really came to my mind during this stupid match was like, did they just completely drop the Ronda Rousey Natalya storyline?
Yeah, where is she during this whole Bella thing?
Right. You would think that a member of Total Divas would want to go against the Total Divas that turned on her friend, Ronda Rousey.
Guess they're not as good as friends as she thought.
They don't even mention Ronda Rousey anymore. It's like all of a sudden it's just completely gone.
No,
I don't blame them because listening to Natalya cut a promo is just
maybe they just put the kibosh on that. They were just like, you know what? Let's just pretend this never happened.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe it's dead. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Oh, I like that. Quentin Walters. Sasha Bankrupt. I like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I like that too.
Jamel. It's almost like the terrible booking and boring feud didn't do wonders for their careers. Oh, who knew? Yes. That's something we've been saying for a long time. Okay. This one takes the cake for the most random Elias interruption of the year, I would think. Elias comes out. Number one, Elias cut this awesome riff tonight. It sounded like he reimagined the opening riff to "Nothing Else Matters" by Metallica. Oh, I love that song. It was so great. This guy can really play guitar. He's really good at it.
He's literally is legitimate.
And he tries to make fun of Philadelphia and Carson Wentz and all his injuries, and then says that the biggest injury was my mental injury, having to actually pretend that I like Philadelphia, which got boos. They're still trying to do the Seattle thing where they got that amazing.
It's never going to happen.
It'll never happen again. No. That will never happen again. But he's going to go to every single town now and make sports references. Well, damn it, that worked. Damn. So, welcome, Eric. Eric, you're never too late, sir. You're never too late. Eric Flanagan just joined us in the chat room. Welcome, sir. You missed my Saudi Arabia rant, but you'll get it later. Me and Victoria really went to town on that one. I don't have the energy for it anymore. Randomly, random as hell, Apollo Crews just comes out, and okay, Victoria, I have a question for you. You're a member of the creative team. How would you build up a face?
I don't know.
Well, neither do they, apparently. That's about the answer I would expect from the creative team right now.
Right, but I don't also work for them, so I don't think it's my job.
How would I build up a face? Accentuate the positives. Work around his limitations. You don't have a face come out, and Apollo Crews is a face who just hasn't connected because he has no personality. You don't have said face then come out and cut a promo where he literally acknowledges that he has no personality. That's what happened. Well, that is literally what happened.
I'm not part of the creative team, but I certainly would not have done that.
What?
And I also
he said like he goes, I don't play guitar and I'm not funny.
And I will I also will say this.
What?
I would not have my face, who is lacking in every sense of the word, charisma.
Yeah.
Also go against somebody who
bleeds charisma
and is just a phenomenal heel.
Oh God.
That was just. What did Apollo Crews do backstage? Listen,
I don't know. I think it's just like, oh, we haven't seen that guy in a while. Or maybe they were listening to a Wrestleview Weekly and found out how long Apollo Crews has been on Doug's milk carton and wanted to do something about it.
I love Doug's milk carton.
No Way Jose, by the way, made a Raw appearance tonight. He in a vignette with Kurt Angle. So I don't think that takes him. Does that take him off the milk carton? Can anybody answer that for me? I am not sure.
Well, yeah, Doug too. Is Doug here?
Jamel, I mean, wasn't the whole point of putting him with Titus O'Neil to have a guy with a big personality speak with for him? So I guess Titus Worldwide is completely gone. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Don't you remember Dana Brooke?
Torqueman. Apollo Snooze. Oh, God. Anyway. Jamel wants No Way Jose arrested because he believes that he is kidnapping that entire party train.
Well, he did write on the
held hostage.
He did write on the WrestleView comments, but seriously, where the hell are those people that the monster No Way Jose kidnapped?
Okay, good. So 3 weeks missing equals the milk carton, and if he appears on TV, then he's off the milk carton.
Okay.
So he's off the milk carton.
So officially,
I just want to know how long he's been on the milk carton. That would be more interesting than him coming off to me. Because it's been a long time since he's been on.
I think Jamel knows.
I would think that the last time I saw No Way Jose on Raw was when they were trying to, when they did that pathetic attempt at getting Mojo Rawley over. And they had Mojo Rawley have a feud with No Way Jose. That had to be like July or something like that. So it's been quite some time. Why is he around?
Just for me to dance.
Yeah, I guess.
For Jersey and New York to dance.
Anyway.
Trying to start that do.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Just trying to start something again.
So main event time. Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre versus The Shield in a rematch from last week.
Of War, by the way.
The Dogs of War, I like that better.
Just because I can't say their names anymore.
We're going to have to call them Broken Up, I think, because I'm pretty sure they broke up during this match. Or after the match.
That was my favorite part.
This was a really good match.
That was a really good
Obviously, not as good as the Australia show and not as good as last week's Raw, which I I thought that last week's Raw match was better than the Australia show. Just me. But this one was definitely the least good of the 3 matches. But there's still some intrigue in it, still some drama. They teased dissension with the Shield, they teased dissension with the Dogs of War. A couple of mismatches. I liked the fact that Ambrose and Rollins, they kept kind of like butting heads a little bit, and then Dean Ambrose, like, they were just kind of talking, but like, it wasn't just like, oh, what are you doing? It's like, he's like, 6 years we haven't made we've never made a screw up. 6 years it's been. We've never screwed up. Like, why are we doing it now? I thought it was just like really compelling television, actually. I thought it was really good.
Good storytelling.
And like the finish, of course. Like they have really, really creative finishes in WWE. Like the tag matches are really booked well. Drew McIntyre hitting Strowman with a Claymore kick. Ziggler goes for a zigzag on Reigns, but he can't hit it. Reigns holds onto the ropes and he rolls through into Rollins and Ambrose, who then put him into Roman Reigns for the triple power bomb or the Cerebrus bomb. I don't know how that started happening. And then Dean Ambrose gets the pin. So now I guess all is right. He's smiling in this picture here. So I guess Dean Ambrose is no longer, pissed at the Shield. So he got his little win back. But Braun Strowman did warn Dolph Ziggler before the match, Dolph Ziggler and McIntyre, that there better not be any screw-ups or you're going to get these hands. And he gave the hands to Dolph Ziggler, but he could not give the hands to Drew McIntyre, who hit him with a second Claymore kick, but this time it was on purpose. And he really rocked him. Like, I'm looking at this GIF right now. It looks like he connected pretty damn good on that Claymore kick right there. That was awesome. McIntyre just, oh my God, he smells like money. He smells like money.
Money.
He smells like money. Just like what Leo Rush was talking about. I get it now. So overall, what'd you think of the main event? Did I cut you off on anything? Is there anything you wanted to say about the main event?
No, I thought it was really good. My favorite part was Drew McIntyre at the end, though. Really building up to the star quality.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have to say about it. I didn't really have anything much to add otherwise.
You are being accused of wanting to be in Jose's conga line by Torqueman and Grash.
I do.
Yeah.
That's not an accusation. That's true. It's facts. I like dancing, so.
Yeah, she's a dancer.
Anytime I could be in like any form of like movement, I'm good.
And that's actually a great point that Grash brings up, that how well Braun sold the Claymore kick for McIntyre.
Yes.
Strowman doesn't really have to sell for anybody because he's such a big dude.
No, but he did it.
But McIntyre is like the up and coming guy, obviously. Like there is like something special going on there. And he really acted like he was rocked big time. Mm-hmm. He was stumbling when he got up. He couldn't even get his legs under him for like the first portion of him trying to get up, which I thought was really, really good. The whole visual of it was just phenomenal, and it was a really good ending to Raw. I'm interested in seeing what they do next week. So that at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to keep everybody like, okay, well, what's going to happen next week? What's going to happen next week? So let's just go back to the Twitter poll one more time. Let's see what everybody's doing. Now we have 66% thumbs up. So people are feeling Raw.
I would agree.
People are feeling Raw.
I will give it a definitive thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a definitive thumbs up too. What say you, chat room? Let's see. 4 thumbs in the middle. Just kidding, for Quentin. These thumbs in the middle.
Quentin, I agree.
They will never go away. They will never go away.
I kept it going.
Yes, Victoria has tried to keep the thumbs in the middle going.
I have. I'm still
kicking and screaming into progressivism.
I am fighting.
She's fighting it. Thumbs up from Grash. Thumbs up. A-OK from Jamel. Okay. So people seem to like it. It was a solid show. Wasn't bad for sure from Eric. Just about a thumbs up. That's a new one. Just about the thumbs up.
Who said that?
That comes from Ashley. That's just almost, it's at a tilt. It's a thumbs up on the Titanic, so you're on the tilt.
My
thumbs up from Torqueman. People like the show, so that's good. We recapped 2 good Raws in a row. How this was definitely a show tonight, though. We appreciate everybody kind of sticking around with us and listening to us kind of get a little heated about this Crown Jewel event. But I think everybody kind of gets where we're coming from. I think we hammered that point in pretty good. So I guess that we can just end it here, right? I guess, right? do you have anything else to say?
No. What are you eating for lunch tomorrow?
What? I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know. You make my lunch every day, so it's up to you what I eat for tomorrow.
You'll have a prosciutto sandwich.
Oh, that sounds good to me.
With mozzarella and balsamic vinaigrette.
Sound good to me.
With chips and French onion dip with carrots.
Do we have yogurt?
We do have yogurt.
Okay, I'll take some yogurt and I'll take the carrots too.
Okay.
I definitely want to make sure I eat the yogurt. I love
and
the
Milano.
The Milano cookies are always have Milano cookies.
And I will have a salad.
She'll have a salad. So she's good. I'm bad. And she'll live till 100, and I'll probably die on the air.
Stop! Will you not say stuff like that?
Post Raw number 50.
Will you stop?
Anyway,
God forbid.
What a great show tonight! A lot of fun. So as Victoria takes a drink, this is where I'm going to do my sign off now. I am Mike Tedesco.
We need the face for Adams.
Okay, there's our face for Adam. For those that listen to us on podcasts, we are very excited that you're listening to us on podcasts, and we hope that you're listening to it. We're on Spotify now. We're on Spotify and a whole bunch of different platforms.
I love it.
You can get us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever it is that you like to get your podcasts. That's really exciting, and we appreciate all the downloads that we get and everybody that listens to us. We're very humbled and honored by that. We're honored and humbled by all the people who join us live every week. Jamel, Grash, Billy, Ashley, Quentin, our guy, Quentin. So, thank you, everybody. This has been a fun show for sure. I don't anticipate ever doing a show like that again where I'm talking about people getting murdered with bone saws, but you never know.
Please.
All right. I'm Mike Tedesco.
I'm Victoria Tedesco. Not Tedeschi. Tedescu.
Still doesn't know her name. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.